credit. Cannot be combined with other offers. Finance cash must be applied to transaction. Ends 1/5/26.
Hey, Dub Nation. If you're traveling to cheer on the Warriors this season, then the most important thing to pack is the United Airlines app. You can track your bags, change your flight or your seat, get a personalized map of the airport terminal, even talk to a live customer service agent. It's like having a travel agent in the palm of your hand for free. And yeah, that technically makes it a free agent. Download the United app and book your next trip today. United, proud to be the official airline of the Golden State Warriors.
Happy holidays, Dub Nation. The deals are dropping, and Rakuten is here to help you save big this season. With Rakuten, you can stack cash back on top of holiday sales to maximize your savings. Whether you're shopping gifts for everyone on your list at your favorite stores or scoring 10% cash back at the Warrior Shop, make this holiday season the most rewarding one yet. Join for free at Rakuten.com or download the Rakuten app. That's RAKUTEN.
This next one's for all you CarMax shoppers who just want to buy a car your way.
Wanna check some cars out in person? Wanna look some more from your house? Okay.
Wanna pretend you know about engines?
Nah, I'll just chat with CarMax online instead.
Wanna get pre-qualified from your couch? Woo! Wanna get that car ASAP? You wanna do it your way.
Wanna drive? CarMax.
Thanks for showing up, Dub Nation. Nothing beats catching your Warriors live, and nobody knows that better than you. So next time you want to hit up a game, Ticketmaster's got your back. As the official ticket marketplace of the Warriors and the NBA, even if you're headed to the game last minute, Ticketmaster gets you to the game so you can experience all the sights, sounds, and styles in person. Keep putting that jersey collection to use and get Warriors tickets today at Ticketmaster. Get tickets at Ticketmaster.com/Warriors. See you courtside again soon, Dub Nation.
1 in 8 women have thyroid issues.
Am I the one? I am kind of tired. I should see a doctor. Is it genetic? Does my health plan even cover tests like that? In-network? Out-of-network? Why is this always a whole big thing? Wait. I have Kaiser Permanente. So my coverage includes regular preventive care. Guess it doesn't have to be a whole big thing.
Kaiser Permanente. Healthcare that just works.
Say you're a coach in Chase Center and need to draw up a last-second play. Or you're a fan in Section 212 craving nachos. AI from Google Cloud can help with both. The Warriors are using AI from Google Cloud to break down every move on the court, helping coaches game plan. And for fans, the same AI powers the mobile app, giving you personalized content, highlights, and yes, nachos ordered from your phone. With AI, you're always in the game, even off the court. Google Cloud, the official AI partner of the Golden State Warriors.
To Curry, pump fake, fly-by, three ball, got it with the buzzer sounding!
You've been listening to Golden State Warriors basketball on the Warriors Radio Network. Presented by United Airlines. For tickets, visit Warriors.com or call 888-GSW-HOOP.
You wish you were here.
This Odyssey Sports broadcast was presented by ZipRecruiter. Looking to hire? ZipRecruiter finds the best candidate for your job fast. Try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free.
A 10-point lead for the Dubs. Curry will dribble it up. Dallas won't foul. Warriors will get their third straight win. They get a little bit of a Christmas present here heading out to the road. Your final score on this Christmas Day, 2025. Golden State 126, Dallas 116.
Now that was Tim Roy on the call. Good to hear him back after as he announced, birth of his granddaughter. So congratulations to him and the Roy family. As the Warriors, you heard him, a nice little Christmas on the 25th of December as they take down the Dallas Mavericks.
And blue-collar type victory, 126-116.
So kind of an interesting game. And, I think one that the Warriors needed, basically. You're looking at a home stand, a home stretch, in which they worked 3 in a row against 3 teams that were a bit compromised. And were vulnerable. And for the majority of to accomplish really what they've done over these last 3 games outside of the start of the season, and that's take care of business against teams that they should win against. Phoenix is a decent team, but they're absolutely beatable. They beat you by 1 on Thursday, last Thursday, a week ago. You come back home on Saturday, control the majority of that basketball game, and you eke out a win. Orlando, you pretty much from the midway point of the third quarter on, absolutely controlled that basketball game. And this Dallas one, while it wasn't a runaway freight train by Golden State, they scored 40 points in the first quarter. Al Horford was awesome off the bench. And from there, they basically just used that cushion to kind of jockey back and forth. They led by as many as 17. They end up winning by 10, but not exactly the sexiest win by the Warriors, but they're a team in a position where they can't really complain about victory. So, I thought this 3-game homestand, considering where they were at 14 and 15, was pretty important. And the Warriors are looking for any sign, any form of consistency, which they just have not had for the better part of a month. And this is the first time the Warriors have won 3 games in a row since November 16th. It's the first time they have been above 500 since November 29th. This month of December has not been very kind so far to the Warriors outside of these last 3 games. And now you head to Toronto, you got Brooklyn, you got Charlotte before you come home for 10 of the next 11 after the 3-game roadie. The Warriors have a chance to kind of separate from that 500 mark, and I think it really started during this homestand. So I know that December 25th is around the time where the basketball season starts for a lot of NBA fans, and I think there's an opportunity for the Warriors to really turn some heads and garner some attention, because they just have not really deserved a whole lot of it, honestly, up until this point in this season. Obviously, if they do not show up on the road, we're going to be having a very different conversation. But to me, the difference is that the Warriors now look to have a little more health and a little more, I think Kerr mainly has a little more of an idea what he wants to do with his rotation and this roster. Tonight it was one where they kind of just relied on a cast of characters, but the pieces seemed to fit. And the fact that the Warriors got contributions from all around, they had 7 guys in double digits. They did it by moving the ball. They took care of the ball. And, the biggest number or numbers to me in this game for the Warriors were 33 and 11. And that was the assist-to-turnover ratio. They were a 3-to-1 assist-to-turnover ratio. And I think on most nights against a lot of teams, that's going to be good enough to get the job done. And I just look at where the Warriors are at right now. I think they were in a fragile place. I think they've gotten themselves to more of a hardened position, and it's because they've just been able to sort of take care of business. Like, to me, this wasn't a great win for the Warriors tonight, but Dallas is a team that you should beat, and Dallas is a team that you should be able to handle, especially after Anthony Davis goes down in the second quarter. Shocker, Anthony Davis got hurt and does not return. So the Dallas Mavericks already down, obviously, Kyrie Irving and now Anthony Davis. They're relying on a 19-year-old, Cooper Flagg, who, by the way, I don't know if people have watched Coop a whole lot since his run last year in the NCAA tournament to the semifinals, but he's had a pretty damn good rookie season. We talked about some of the numbers during Warriors Live before the game, but fresh off his 33-9-9 in the win 2 days ago against Denver, he goes for 27 on 13 of 21 shooting, has 6 rebounds and 5 assists with just 1 turnover in 36 minutes, which was a game high for the Mavericks and a game high for anybody. And he is a sight to see. He can make tough shots. I think in the first half he did a pretty good job of sort of feeling out the game, and he didn't really start shooting until Anthony Davis got hurt, and it just felt like, at 19 years old, like, he's never really in much of a rush. He's not someone who is going to try and get overly aggressive unnecessarily, and I just think he plays with a lot of patience and poise for a guy who's in his rookie season and has played 30-plus games, 30, 35-ish games for the Mavericks this year. So I can't wait to see what he becomes. And Dallas is obviously in a tough spot now at 12-20, but he is a reason to watch that basketball team for sure. The one thing that I was thinking about in regards to the 126-116 win for the Warriors is, for a lot of the game, I didn't really feel like the Warriors. I didn't feel like they were going to blow this team out, even though they probably should, right? But they shot 28% from three. They missed a lot of open looks. And this is a game where, because of how well they passed and how well they took care of the ball, which I thought generated a lot of those open looks, if they hit, 4 or 5 more of those threes, which would put them right at around their season average in terms of three-point percentage, then we're having a very different conversation. Instead of a 10-point win, this is a 20 or a 23-point victory. And those are the kinds of wins that the Warriors have not had a ton of. I thought they had a chance to potentially stack them. Orlando was a runaway win tonight. I thought should have been a runaway win for them. But at the end of the day, they're in a spot where they have not been a whole lot as of late. Again, over a month, just about a month since they've been a game above 500. And the Warriors right now are not in a place where they can complain about victories. And it's also interesting that, from everything in this game, it wasn't like Steph Curry or Draymond Green were really major factors. I mean, Curry had 23 points, and he got a lot of it at the line, but he did not shoot very well. He was 6 of 18, 2 of 10 from distance. Draymond, meanwhile, I didn't think he was that impressive in this game. And I think it isn't a coincidence that the two worst plus-minuses on the team tonight for the Warriors were Curry and Green. And so you had those guys not playing well, and you still were able to win by double digits. Jimmy Butler, meanwhile, I thought was really good. I know he only had 14 points, but Butler, especially in the second half and when the Warriors kind of began to make their push after the Mavericks cut it to, I believe it was 4, he just got the ball and settled things down. He did have 4 turnovers, 2 of which came on back-to-back offensive foul calls, but I thought for the most part Jimmy Butler was really in control of this game and probably was the Warriors' best player, certainly from their starting lineup. If you look at the bench, Anthony Melton was a good bounce-back game for him. I know the shot hasn't really come along yet, but he was aggressive, had 16 points on 14 attempts, by the way, and a lot of it was inside the paint. And then the other part about the Warriors, too, now that you're beginning to see, and I'm curious to find out how it measures up with some of the bigger groups, a la Toronto, who we're going to see in just a few days. Even Brooklyn, who has some size on the front line, is, are the Warriors beginning to find sort of a rotation of centers? I know we've made a big deal about, all right, who's going to play? The Warriors have a crap ton of guards, or 8 guys on the roster that are 6'4" and below. Not a ton of wing help because Kuminga is not really in the rotation right now. Hield, who kind of plays like a wing for the Warriors, is not in the rotation right now. Santos and Spencer also were DNP CDs tonight for Golden State, but that's because we saw Al Horford come back tonight, and he's missed the last 7 games due to sciatica. He's missed, I think it's 11 of the last 12 games for different ailments, but sciatica was the one as of late. And I thought that this was probably Al Horford's best game since you got to go all the way back to the home opener against Denver. And I'm not sure if you can count on it all the time, but this kind of performance from Al Horford is why you could see the Warriors wanting him in the offseason. He had 14 points in 11 minutes. A lot of it was due to those first 4 threes that he knocked down, which tied a season high for him. But the rebounding was there. He's a capable passer, pretty careful with the ball, did not turn it over at all tonight, had a couple steals defensively. Within short spurts, you can see how Al Horford is a capable contributor to this team, along with now it looks like Quentin Post and Trace Jackson-Davis being rotating bigs for Golden State. TJD plays the 5, had another 10 points tonight off the bench, but Quentin Post with Al Horford, you can play double big. You can play either of them with TJD. You can play either of them with Draymond Green. And it looks more now like Golden State has somewhat of a front line. They're still going to be small on the majority of nights. If Anthony Davis plays for all of this game, it's looking a little bit different. But the insertion of Horford, I think, just gives their bigs that extra bit of boost. And if he's hitting shots, he's even more of a plus. Al Horford was really good in this basketball game. And minute for minute, it probably was the most impactful that he's been all season. They don't win this game tonight without Al Horford. And those are the kinds of performances here and there as the Warriors begin to cement their rotation that they're going to need. So I was really impressed with him, and I thought he was probably the brightest point from this game, to be honest. As a whole, it was more of a collective performance from Golden State, but, to me, between Horford, Melton, Podziemski, and Trayce Jackson-Davis, the four guys in double digits off the bench, the second unit provided I thought, really a big boost for them. You're looking at some of the areas of the game in which the Warriors were able to get up by double digits, were able to eventually increase that lead to 17, which was the largest of the game. A lot of it was with the second unit. It wasn't with Draymond. It wasn't with Curry. It was with Melton, Horford, TJD, playing alongside Jimmy Butler, who kind of in those non-Steph minutes, and this was a talking point before the game that I've been a little curious about. Last year when the Warriors were making their big push at the end of the season, they were extremely productive in non-Steph minutes, and a big part of that was Jimmy Butler. This year, it's been a little up and down, and I think it hasn't been as noticeable because on some nights, Curry, like tonight, hasn't had the big explosive game, but they haven't been very good. They certainly haven't been up to the par they were last year when Steph's been off the floor. Tonight, they won the game when Steph was off the floor. Steph was fine, but he did not have a big Curry game. And really ironically, outside of last Christmas against the Lakers when he and LeBron had their showdown here at Chase Center, Curry hasn't really been that great on Christmas. I'm not sure why. Even going back to his days, when he would battle with LeBron and the Cavaliers and all that good stuff, I feel like Curry's always kind of struggled sometimes to get things going on Christmas Day. I don't know why. Family was there. Maybe a lot more pressure with Aisha and Riley and Cannon in the building. Obviously, that's facetious. But it didn't really matter tonight because everyone else around him stepped up. And that's what the Warriors need, right? Curry could go for 30. He could have gone for 40. But on the nights where Curry is 6 of 18 and he's only dropping in 2 threes, you're going to need other guys to step up and play well. And probably the most impressive part about it was just I thought how well the ball moved between everyone. You think about the 7 players in double digits in terms of points. Well, the Warriors tonight, they had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. They had 9 of their 11 guys with an assist, and 8 of those 11 had multiple assists. Jimmy had 9, but outside of that, GP2 had 5. Podziemski had 4. Curry added 4 assists. Horford had a pair. Melton had 3. There was a level of unselfishness tonight that I'm hoping can continue. And it was probably the reason why they beat the Mavericks, because the Warriors didn't shoot very well whatsoever, at least from the floor. They were 44%, 28 from 3. They made 24 of 26 at the free throw line. But Dallas was absolutely more efficient as a whole in this game. The other thing, too, in kind of reference to the centers and the mixing that they can do with now it looks like 3 guys who can play the 5, 4 if you want to include Draymond there. But they didn't get really blasted on the glass. And, again, part of that is because Anthony Davis left early in this game. But they out-rebounded the Mavericks 49-41. Golden State had 13 offensive rebounds in this one. And, again, it was just a lot of different players that were able to get on the glass. Some of it's probably because they missed 36 shots from 3, so there's going to be some long rebounds. But I think it was all but 2 players in this game for the Warriors grabbed an offensive board. that means that they're engaged. And that means that even though the shots aren't going in, that they're still willing to lock things up and get active on the glass. All right, 888-957-9570 is the number if you want to get a call in here on Christmas Day. First of all, happy holidays to all and a Merry Christmas. The Warriors are victorious tonight, 126-116 against Dallas. So that is the number again if you want to call in, if you want to talk about the Warriors, the game itself, what you thought, how you're feeling about the Dubs as they head towards a 3-game road trip, 2 of which against some bottom feeders in the Nets and the Hornets before 2026. The next time they'll be at home, I believe, is on January 3rd, so it won't be for a bit. But then they get a very favorable home stretch of 10 of 11. And even though, I mean, this is kind of the way I feel about the Warriors right now, is I think Steve Kerr said it perfectly yesterday and before the game this afternoon. The Warriors are a good team. They're not a great team. A great team blows out the Dallas Mavericks tonight with no Anthony Davis midway through the second, with basically a 19-year-old and uber-talented Cooper Flagg as their only hope. Golden State is a team that, if they were great, they would have ran away with this by 20. Some of it had to do with not making shots. Some of it had to do with inefficient play from some of their stars, namely a not great shooting night from Curry. Again, not a very good evening, I thought, from Draymond, but they got contributions from everywhere else. That's where the Warriors are at. 16-15, they've won 3 in a row. They're back above water. They're back above sea level, and they got to figure out a way just to kind of stay there. Hopefully you get some health luck. And that's another part of this, too, that I think is turning in their direction. The Warriors have not had the fortune of health, and some of that has to do with their older players, but other guys have gone down. Kerr's had to mix up rotations, and now you're starting to see that, yes, were the Warriors fortunate AD went down? No doubt. But it's also worked the other way, where the Warriors have been at a disadvantaged spot because they haven't had the fortune of health. Yesterday against Orlando, Golden State didn't have to play against Franz Wagner. They didn't have to play against Tristan da Silva. And they didn't have to play against Jalen Suggs. That means that's a game you should win. But to their credit, they have gone and done that. The Warriors, for the first 20, 25 games, when another team was down a star, this is what we were talking about, it felt like a week or two ago, is the Warriors were not able to get over on teams that were not at full strength. Now you're starting to see them, even as they have health themselves, the Warriors taking care of business against teams that are compromised. And I think that's the sign of a good team. We have a long ways to go to decide whether the Warriors can become a great team. I have my doubts, but I think they're starting to show us and have over this 3-game homestand that they are indeed a good team. Especially at Chase Center, where now they are 10-4. All right, 888-957-9570 is the number. Let's get out to Eric, who's headed back from the game. Wants to chat about this matchup. Eric, Merry Christmas, man. What's going on? How you doing?
Hey, what's going on, man? Good win tonight. The record for the Davs might not be great, but they've been playing great ball. They just came off a win of Denver. So this is, to me, would be a tough matchup. Cooper Flagg is playing really great basketball, and you're seeing this kid's going to be a stud. Love what I saw. I thought Williams was good. Anthony Davis being hurt, that's the story of his career. That's why they call him Street Clothes Davis. So I'm not going to – they got no pass on that. So as far as the Warriors go, I just love that they really played well tonight. Curry really didn't – it wasn't the most picturesque game, obviously, missing a lot of threes, but Curry didn't really go off, and that's what the Warriors need to do. They got contributions for everybody. I think having DeAndre Melton back is big time for the Warriors, and you're seeing – old man, if Al Horford can hopefully stay healthy, which I know with him, knock on wood, is a big if. You see what the kind of production and why they signed him. I think he's a big, efficient guy. I thought Jackson Davis was efficient. So you're seeing this team has depth and talent. It's just a matter of putting it together. And hopefully this 3-game stretch here where they beat 2 really good teams in Phoenix and Orlando, and I think an ascending team with the Mavericks, I hopefully think they can really build on this because the problem with the Warriors is they just inconsistency. When they go through stretches, where they have a good stretch of wins, and then they revert back to being 500. So now you got the 2 winnable games here at the end of the year. You got to be able to take a business. So I'm just hoping now if the Warriors can really build momentum on this, and I'm hoping, and knock on wood, they can have health, because that's the one big setback, because they're limited in terms of their depth here. And if they can really put it together, I think they can be hopefully a top 16, because the Warriors, you want to stay out of the play-in. That's been their big problem. They have to fight so hard because the West is so stacked. If they put themselves in a hole, they end up in the play-in, and they fight their way out, and then they hopefully can win a round and make a deep rest. So I'm hoping this year, as tough as the West is, they can hopefully stay in 16 and stay out of that play-in where they can rest up and really make a run. So I want to just get your overall thoughts here. Now with Melton back and Will Richard being a factor, do you like the depth of this roster, or do you think they still – obviously the Kamina factor is going to be dealt with the trade deadline, but I just want to get your overall thoughts on this team now. I like what I see when this team is put together, but it's just a matter of them having collectivity, staying healthy. I'll get your thoughts on that in a great win, and hopefully they really build on this to finish, close out the year and make a run throughout the rest of the season. Thanks for the time.
Yeah, I got you, Eric. No, a lot of good points there, and happy holidays to you. Yeah, I think the depth is beginning to solidify. Like the Warriors, okay, depth sometimes can just be a term for you have a lot of dudes who are about the same level. It doesn't mean they're necessarily good. It's just a nice way of saying you have a lot of mediocre players. But I think what we're starting to find with the Warriors, and what we've learned a little more of these last 3 games, is that there are players that can separate themselves in the hierarchy. To your point, I thought it was noteworthy that Melton played 24 minutes. In fact, I know that Kerr has wanted to continue to use this starting lineup of Butler, Green, Post, Curry, Moody, but DeAnthony Melton is a player that will be closing. I think it's interesting that Golden State has, I think right now they have 2 guys. They have 2 players who do not start but will on most nights close for them, especially if they're playing well. And those 2 players are Al Horford and DeAnthony Melton. Tonight you saw Melton get revved up to 24 minutes. Tonight you saw Al Horford just come back, and he's obviously got to stay healthy. But you get an idea of, all right, if we can go small with Horford, we can go small with Melton. You can get a little bigger with Horford. So it's not necessarily that the depth is suddenly greater than some of these other teams in the West. But I think the roster is starting to round into form in regards to, you can now kind of picture how Kerr wants to close some of these games. And if we're being honest, the biggest reason the Warriors are only a game above 500 is because they have not been very good down the stretch of games and in clutch time. I don't know if tonight technically qualified as a clutch game. I know the Mavs were within 4, but I forget if it was under 5 minutes to go. But the Warriors coming into this game were 6-10 in clutch games. You obviously flip that around. It's a 4-game swing. You're 20-11. If the Warriors had been better up until this point, under 5 minutes, 5-point game, when things are on the line, they wouldn't be in a situation where we're wondering how good they really are. And that, to me, is why the Warriors are good but not great. They play well and have spurts in which they can show some consistency throughout the 48 minutes, but more often than not, when the chips are on the line, they haven't been able to close against teams. They've done it now 3 games in a row. They finished off Phoenix in a tight one. They ran away from Orlando, and tonight they held the Mavericks at bay after getting a nice shooting start in the first quarter. So I think the Warriors are beginning to show that because of Horford and Melton. Now, 2 players that are injury-prone, one due to age and one due to his track record being Melton. Those guys, to me, are going to be, and their health is extremely important for Golden State, because even though Kerr has committed to this current starting 5, you're going to see both Melton and Horford, when they're healthy, to me, on most nights, be in and around that closing lineup. If Horford's making 3-pointers, this offense is ultimately much better, because you have an extra big shooter on the floor who can play the other end. And Melton, to me, meanwhile, is another 2-way player. Both of those guys, they're not perfect. They're not the most dominant 2-way versions of themselves. One, because Melton's coming off an ACL, Horford's 39. But they're more 2-way players to me than other guys on this roster. Draymond Green is not a 2-way player. Sometimes Quentin Post is not a 2-way player. In fact, I would argue Quentin Post has been better defensively this year than he's been on the offensive end. So you're going to have to mix and match at certain points, and I think where Steve Kerr is trying to figure out just how to use his second unit that, again, had 4 different double-digit scores tonight on it, is how do we make sure that if we get into a tight spot that we have as many players that play both ends of the floor as possible out there. And I think you're starting to see, because of Horford and Melton, there's just more options to go to for Golden State. And I think that's going to give them a better chance to win some of these tight games that they previously have not been able to get. All right, 888-957-9570 is the number. We're going to take you up until the top of the hour here on 95.7 The Game, and then get you out of here and on your way for a Merry Christmas. Cam, if we can, please go to... Oh, let's go to our guy Mitch, who's in New Jersey. Mitchie, what's up, my man? Appreciate you. Happy holidays. What's going on?
Happy holidays, Evan. Thanks for taking my call. Congratulations on your radio gig the other night, I heard.
Thank you, man.
Yeah, I wish the Anthony Melton could start. And I don't see the sense of keeping Kuminga, not giving him 0 minutes. I think he can contribute. He's not bad. I don't understand that. And one more thing, Dallas is definitely hurting. We beat an injured team. Not only Anthony Davis, but Kyrie Irving's going to be back for a while, right?
Yeah, no, 100%. I'm not even sure, Mitch, if they're going to bring him back, considering this team. I don't think they're going to be anywhere close to 500, but that's just me.
With their luck, they'll probably get the first-round pick again.
Yeah, yeah, that's a good point, I guess. Last year they made that trade from Luke for moving on from Luka and ended up with the number 1 pick. You think they can get another number 1 pick, Mitch?
They're going to make the playoffs. You know what? They had 1% chance. They got it.
That's all you need.
Enjoy your holidays and everything.
Hey, you too, Mitch. Merry Christmas, man. Thank you. Hope the cat's doing well out there in Jersey, and the old grandchildren as well. All right. Yeah, again, the number is 888-957-9570. Cam, if we can go to Steve Kerr, that would be fantastic. Again, the head coach talking after this one, the Warriors victorious against the Mavericks, kind of a methodical blue-collar victory for Golden State. 126-116, 3 in a row now for the Dubs, 16-15. First time they've been above 500 in the month of December. Here's the head coach after the Christmas Day victory.
Yeah, I mean, it's I'm not sure how much of it was our defense. It's just kind of the way they're built, but it's a weird stat line. They shot 55%, but for the most part, they made some tough shots. They didn't get to the line a ton. We kept them off the three-point line. So, it's kind of a modern defensive game where, it doesn't feel great, but in the end, the defense is enough.
I mean, 3-0 homestand, there felt like maybe a little turbulence within it, but, you exit, over 500 to go out on the road. Just how do you feel where you guys are at right now?
I feel like we're in a good place. We have a rotation. We're healthy. Getting Al back today was huge, the way he shot it in the first half, just creating that separation. But our centers are all playing well. I think QP, it's funny because, QP has not shot the ball well, but he's played really, really well defensively. And so to have Trace out there doing the same, defending, blocking shots, and then to have Al, suddenly we have, a pretty big front line should we choose to go big, and but multiple options off the bench. So I like the way we're playing, but now we got to go on the road and keep it going.
Steve, DeAnthony with a season-high 24 minutes. What kind of strides have you seen from him from just a physical conditioning standpoint? And he took, I think it was 14 shots today. Did you like that level of aggression from him?
He's been aggressive since he came back. It's one of the things I love about DeAnthony. He's not shy. He really attacks the moment, and his defense is excellent, and he gives us another ball handler out there. So you have to remember he hasn't played really for most of 2 years. That's a long time to be out. So he's still getting his rhythm back. You saw when he made the three at the end, he sort of, put his hands to the heavens, and he's had a lot of open threes that haven't gone yet that will start going once his legs are really underneath him and he's found his groove.
Steve, with Al, how much can that just give him a lift
also. And did you see this coming in this week, that he would be able to just come right back out quite that strong?
No. Yeah. I mean, he's been out for a while, and he's finally cleared today. And I told him before the game, I said, I'm not exactly sure when you're going in because I'm going to keep Trace in his rotation because he's playing so well. And Al, to his credit, stayed ready and immediately, started knocking down shots that created the separation for us. So we know how good he is. We know what he can mean to us, and it's really fun to see him back on the floor and obviously playing so well.
And how much does he open things up, because he can do a variety of things for you? Yeah,
I mean, the way he picks and then pops. As a 5-man, it really opens up the floor, and he, making 4 threes in that first quarter, opened up the game. We scored 40 points and played with the lead the rest of the way. So I thought Al was really the key player in the game tonight.
Why did you decide to go to him?
I'm sorry?
Why did you decide to go to him?
Well, they're a big team, and they have size at every position. And the thing we talked about in our coaches meeting was, we want to keep Trace in his rotation, but we also want to get Al out there. And so there was kind of a debate about maybe playing them together, maybe playing Al with Dre. But we weren't quite sure how we're going to do it. We're really trying to commit to a regular rotation because we've finally been able to do it the last couple games. And then we just decided let's just fit him in wherever it feels right. And I really like him with Jimmy. I like him playing pick and roll with Jimmy because Jimmy's so good getting downhill and getting him the ball, getting Al the ball if he's open. And we saw that a few times.
How do you feel about the way you guys are rebounding the ball right now?
Well, the crashing on offense has been really good the last few weeks. It was not good early in the season, and how many offensive boards tonight? 13. Feels like we're generating extra possessions now every game, which is a big part of the modern game, big part of our game. So we're doing that well, and having some bigger guys out there with Trace and Al, it does feel like we're more capable of taking care of the defensive glass as well.
Steve, you guys had 33 assists lately. In the last 10 games, you guys averaged 22 assists a game, which is pretty low for this team. Did anything change? Because he had 33 today and then gave him only 6 points off turnovers.
We didn't make shots either. I mean, we were 14 for 50. Other than Al, nobody shot the three well tonight. So biggest thing is 11 turnovers, taking care of the ball. I think only 4 in the second half. So as Jimmy says, we were getting shots on goal, and that's all we want. If we're taking care of it, we're getting looks. Next game that could be 24 for 50 instead of 14 for 50. The way we know we can shoot it.
What do you think of the overall ball movement in general?
It was good. Yeah, the ball moved, and guys got open looks, and it was a kind of a methodical win because we weren't making shots, but we were getting good possessions.
Hey, Steve, it looked like Brandon went to the locker room with Rick for a sec. What's the...
Not sure what he did. Have you heard yet? So Rick told me he was available the last few minutes, but if you don't need him, let him rest. So we let him go.
And what do you sort of like about his 4 games? Seems like he had 9 assists or good. It seems like he's just moving the ball well.
Yeah, 8 boards, 4 assists, only 1 turnover. He makes a lot of things happen out there. He's at his best when he's getting off the ball early, and when he gets off of it and the ball starts swinging side to side, a lot of really good things happen, and he's a good player.
Hey, Steve. Just looking down at this, 7 players in double digits scoring. We're talking about the ball movement, 33 assists. Is that kind of like the identity, the makeup of this team that you're looking for?
Yeah, we've always been a ball movement team. Steph off the ball is so powerful, and Jimmy loves to pass. Jimmy would prefer to get an assist than a basket. You saw it tonight, 9 assists and 14 points. He loves that kind of game. Draymond's such a good passer, and so we've this has kind of been our identity over the years, and I feel really good about the way we're playing as long as we're making simple decisions and the simple passes so we get plenty of attempts.
And then also defensively, you saw a lot of hands out there. A lot of guys, a lot of guys getting onto loose balls and things like that, and turn around to easy buckets. Just talk about defensively what you guys are looking out for.
Yeah, we're mainly just trying to contain penetration. Make people have to shoot over the top of us, not get easy buckets in the paint. Fast break, transition stuff. If we can keep teams from getting the easy stuff, then we feel good about our ability to slow them down.
Steve, have you gotten used to seeing Klay on the other side yet?
I'm sorry?
Have you gotten used to seeing Klay on the other side yet, or is it still weird?
I'll never get used to seeing Klay on the other side. I miss Klay. Wish he was still here. Thanks.
All right, and that was the head coach, Steve Kerr, after the Warriors' 126-116 win. Yeah, that last note was certainly one that tugs at the heartstrings of Warriors fans. It is kind of weird seeing Klay Thompson in a Mavericks jersey, but I can say the Warriors fans treated him well tonight, an ovation every time. Certainly the first one was the biggest one, but every time he came back in the game, when he hit a shot, Klay tonight, who has been moved to a reserve role, but his only three that he knocked down tonight got a good ovation from the crowd as well, so still a lot of love for now number 31 instead of number 11, which we all know him here with the Warriors. All right, as we wrap up here, I feel like listening to Steve Kerr talk, and I mentioned it a little bit earlier in the show, but the thing that I sort of take away from this game is it does feel like the roster that was promised preseason, it's beginning to take shape, and it's really because of the introduction of two players. Over the course of this road trip, we've seen Melton's minutes begin to slowly stack up. Tonight against Dallas, Al Horford gets introduced and has his best shooting performance of the season after missing 7 games with the sciatica injury. But those two guys, they were supposed to be pieces for the Warriors. Now, huge pieces, massive pieces, that remains to be seen. I have my doubts about Melton, who's coming off an ACL tear, and Horford, who's obviously 39 years of age. But those were guys that this summer, when the Warriors decided to go through that long, drawn-out contract saga, and they had those two players pinpointed that they eventually signed, they were supposed to be additions. And tonight, along with this 3-game win streak, Melton looked like an addition, and Horford tonight certainly looked like an addition. I think it gives the Warriors a couple of different looks for Steve Kerr, which they'll want to close with different guys. I think overall, just if they can stay healthy, it gives the Warriors more two-way options, which has really been kind of a missing piece, I think, of the first 30 games or 31 games of this season. They have a lot of specialists. They have a lot of streaky players. They have a lot of guys who don't play both ends of the floor. And while Melton and Horford are certainly not two-way powers like some of the top teams in the West have, they do have skills that contribute on both ends. And I think once Melton begins to get his sea legs under him, the shots will begin to fall, Horford the same. You're going to see the Warriors, combined with the fact that after an easy-ish East Coast three-game swing, they come home for 10 of 11. And this is a team that I think is going to be able to stack some victories. So, keep an eye on penciling this homestand, and specifically this Christmas evening, as being one to maybe allow the Warriors to turn the corner a bit. I don't know if it means they're going to jump suddenly into the top 6. I don't know if it means they're going to go on to do what they did last year and win a postseason series, but I do feel like the Warriors are beginning to figure out who they are. And in a game where you have seven different double-digit scores, you have 33 assists to 11 turnovers. Those are statistics that are going to allow you to win a lot of games against good teams, against bad teams, and certainly against compromised teams like the Mavericks tonight. So not the sexiest win, but a win that I think we could look back on potentially amidst this 3-win streak, the first of which in December, and say, all right, maybe the Warriors have found a little something here. So a lot to keep an eye on, and the Warriors got it all in front of them. All right, that'll do it for us here on Warriors Wrap-Up on 95.7 The Game from Chase Center. A big thank you to, really the people that are working on Christmas, not just myself. I got to be here at the arena. It's about Zach Green, who's back in our studios chopping things up. And it's about our network coordinator, Cameron Williams, who is here every single game for us and for you on 95.7 The Game. Dude works harder than just about anybody at the station. He's up late. He's here early. He does everything for us. And he does it all on Christmas, damn it. So thank you, Cam. Big thank you to Zach. Big thank you to, obviously, all of our listeners, all of our fans here who have chimed in, who are here for the Warriors, and continue to roll with us. Game 31. We got 51 more games left to figure out the story of this season. And like I said, it's all in front of the Warriors. So want to wish everybody out there a Merry Christmas and a Happy Holiday. Real quick, I want to get this the super chat in from Alan Day Sr. to say $4.99. Kerr and Dre is ripped away the fabric of this team and what made this team joyful. They're hard to watch, this team. Big thank you to Alan for that money. Hope you felt like it was well used. And on Christmas, again, we're supposed to be happy. We're supposed to be joyful, okay? I know this wasn't the sexiest win for the Warriors, but go drink some eggnog. If you need some more help, put a little dark in it, all right? Figure it out, okay? That's what I'm going to implore you to do, and I'm going to implore you to chin up, all right? The Warriors are going to be back in 3 days, and we'll talk to you then on Sunday, right before the Niners also have a big game against the Chicago Bears. I'll be on, I think, for pre and post, and then talking with my guy Lorenzo Neal from Laughing Monk Brewing. And in the meantime, have a happy and Merry Christmas. Also be safe on New Year's if I don't talk to you before then. 25 is almost over. 2026 has got the best to come. All right, so enjoy it all on 95.7 The Game. Big thank you to everybody listening. You've been listening to Warriors Wrap Up. Warriors 126, Mavericks 116. We'll talk to you next time on 95.7 The Game.
Yeah, Dan Dibley here for Fremont Bank, which, as you know by now, it's my bank, and it has been for more than 6 years. And I love this bank because it's a family-owned bank with the family-owned feel. They started back in 1964, and when they did that, it was just one branch, but now they have 21 branches. So if you go around in your Bay Area, you're going to find a Fremont Bank branch, and you're going to see it, and you're going to think, you know what? I want that full-service banking with no compromises, and you should. It's not a big box bank. It's a good local bank, and when you deposit your money with Fremont Bank, they reinvest it locally into businesses, philanthropy, home ownership, all the good stuff that makes our Bay Area the best area in all of the country, and that's why you should be a Fremont Bank customer. The money stays here. It's local. It's not a big box bank. It's a good, solid, local bank. And we talk about Fremont Bank, and you know that they're here for you and here for good.
What's up? It's Draymond Green. I'm back for my 14th NBA season, and my podcast, The Draymond Green Show, is back too. This season, I'm breaking down games, reacting to the biggest NBA stories, and sitting down with teammates, rivals, and culture shapers. And trust me, I'm not holding back, on the court or on the mic. 2 new episodes every week. New segments, big conversations, real basketball talk for the real hoop heads. Listen to and follow The Draymond Green Show wherever you get your podcasts. We're back, we're better, let's get it.
This is Dan Dibley, and I'm jumping on Caltrain with the fans heading to Chase Center. No brake lights, no parking hunt, just smooth, easy, straight into the city. If you're wondering why more and more Bay Area fans are choosing Caltrain on event nights, well, let's find out. We're here with some youngsters eating pastries on Caltrain. Why do you guys like Caltrain to go to the game?
It's very convenient. It's very time efficient. You can eat and drink in the train.
Spend time with friends, maybe play a card game or something?
Yeah, we forgot the cards, but we were like thinking about it. Yeah, it's a fun time. You can like sit around at a table. It's almost like very homey.
And the atmosphere and the cleanliness, what do you think about that?
Yeah, it's pretty quiet.
You can hear it. No stress, no traffic talk, just people already in a good mood before they even get to San Francisco. That's the Caltrain difference. You show up relaxed, not rattled by parking wars or brake lights. So, next time you're heading to Chase Center or a night out in the city, skip the grind. Take Caltrain, your ride to what matters.
Hi, I'm Brian Bakhtiari, Executive Manager of Stevens Creek Subaru. The holiday season is a time of giving, and for the 17th year in a row, Stevens Creek Subaru wants to give back. From now until January 2nd, get a great vehicle and support a great cause. Because with every new Subaru purchased or leased, Subaru and Stevens Creek Subaru are donating a minimum of $325 to charity during the 2025 Subaru Share the Love event, happening now at Stevens Creek Subaru. And if that's not enough, buy or lease any new Subaru from Stevens Creek Subaru until December 31st and receive 2 Sierra at Tahoe season passes from Stevens Creek Subaru. So you get a great deal on a new Subaru, get 2 free season passes to Sierra at Tahoe, and help some great charities at the same time. It's a win-win-win at Stevens Creek Subaru. Located on Stevens Creek Boulevard near Santana Row and Valley Fair, or online at StevensCreekSubaru.com. StevensCreekSubaru.com. And remember, buckle up and drive safely.
Come into Friedman's Appliance in Pleasant Hill and see an amazing selection of Sub-Zero, Wolf, and Cove appliances live and on display in one of the largest living kitchens in the country. And save with full suite savings event. With qualifying purchase, get 3 additional years of protection or qualify for a $1,000 rebate. For the largest selection of Sub-Zero, Wolf, and Cove appliances, visit the Living Kitchen at Friedman's Appliance in Pleasant Hill or at Friedman'sAppliance.com.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids.
Hurry! It's your last chance to donate for 2025.
Donate your car today. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Ready to get rid of that old car? Donate it to Cars for Kids. Call 1-877-CARS-FOR-KIDS to reach a friendly live agent. Donation's super easy, and your car can be picked up as soon as tomorrow. Call us now, 1-877-CARS-FOR-KIDS. That's Cars with a K to donate your car today.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Hurry! It's your last chance to donate for 2025. Last chance. Donate